Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. We get to Numbers chapter 23 and 24. We have some beautiful words spoken by the Lord through Balaam concerning the children of Israel. Wonderful blessings that are given on their behalf. And this is amazing given that the children of Israel had given the Lord so much trouble in the wilderness, rebelling against him, rebelling against the leaders that he sent, complaining about the food he gave them, complaining when they didn't have enough to drink or to eat. Just constantly giving the Lord a difficult time and testing the Lord. But yet, when it was all said and done, the Lord had beautiful things to say about them, and he could only speak blessing over them and not a curse like Balak wanted Balaam to do. This was in connection to the covenant relationship that he was in with the people, especially with their ancestor Abraham. And this shows us the love and the care that God has for his people, even with all their failures. And this should encourage us to know that, the Lord loves us and cares for us too, even though we too fail him often and we perhaps grieve him quite frequently. And it ought to encourage us to know that if we do look at our lives and we say, I just don't feel like I've measured up. I don't feel like I've really lived the life that I should have. I feel like I've stumbled a lot. I feel like I've grieved the Lord a lot. We can be encouraged to say, because we are his people, he still loves us and he still wants us to come back to him. And so the question is not, have we made mistakes? Of course, we've all made mistakes before. But the question is, will we trust in the love of our Father and return back to him and recognize the fact that he still loves us? Definitely is not pleased when we sin. Definitely not pleased when we do go astray. That's pretty clear in the book of Numbers. But very compassionate and loving when we turn back to him. And he has very wonderful blessings awaiting for us if we do so. And he can speak these wonderful blessings over us as well, because as his people, we basically fall into the various categories that are found in Numbers chapter 23 and 24. He talks about how they are set apart among the nations. We too are set apart. 1 Peter chapter 2 talks about how we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a special possession, his special possession. We are set apart unto God, consecrated unto God. He talked about also how they had a good end. He said, I want to have a good end like the people of Israel, like the righteous. And we too have a good end when we serve the Lord. We have a promise of a hope beyond the grave of great blessings, eternal blessings waiting for us there. And he talks about them. God wouldn't curse them because God was with them. His presence was there with them. How can I curse the people that I've been with this whole time? And my presence is in the midst of them. I can't curse them. And God's presence is in our midst as well. That becomes pretty clear as Paul talks to the church at Corinth about how he would dwell among them and be in them. And that's true of us as well. We have the presence of God with us. He wouldn't curse them because he is their king. He was their king, and he is our king as well. He is our ruler. He is the one that we follow. He's the one that we subjected ourselves to. And therefore, we are his special people in that way. He wouldn't curse them also because he had delivered them. He said, I brought them up out of Egypt. I'm not going to curse them now that I brought them out of Egypt. And the Lord has delivered us as well. In Romans chapter 6, it talks about in some detail how we've been delivered from the bondage of sin. And so we have a special relationship with God in that he's delivered us from sin. And they were very powerful also. He talked about how they were like a lioness and like a lion pouncing on the prey. Very powerful people just waiting to consume their enemies. And we too are very powerful when we trust in the Lord, when we walk by faith, when we're praying in the Spirit. We can live very powerful lives, spiritually speaking, before the Lord. He talks about how beautiful they were. We too live beautiful lives. We talked about this before, how when we live a life in subjection to Christ, what flows out of that is a beautiful life. He talks about how they had the full supply, their water pots would be full and that sort of thing. And we have the full supply of the Spirit as well. And he talks about how they're an exalted kingdom, and we too are exalted before the Lord, not because we're anything great, but because the Lord has exalted us and will exalt us. And then he spends a lot of the last blessing talking about the wonderful future that they have and alluding to the Messiah that was going to come. And we too have a wonderful future to come with the Messiah who's going to come. Christ will come again and give us a beautiful future with the new heavens and new earth. And so we are blessed by the Lord, just like Israel back then was blessed of the Lord. And we can stand on that and walk in that. And when we do fall down and when we do falter, when we do grieve the Lord, we just turn back to the Lord, come back to Him, trusting in His loving kindness, trusting in His compassion, trusting in the blessings that He's pronounced over us. And we just keep on walking with the Lord, drawing close to Him, loving Him, worshiping Him, walking before Him each and every day of our lives. So let's be encouraged by Numbers 23 and 24 to this type of life. And with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.